All right, guys, we are gonna go over the good morning. A good morning can be used in a lot of different senses, a lot of different apparatuses, kettlebells, dumbbells, but typically it's done with a barbell and on your back. So it's kind of set up like a back squat, and it's a hinge pattern. So you're gonna hinge from your hip. Now the key here is to keep a nice neutral spine. So your hamstrings and glutes are the primary movers. And how you're gonna keep a nice neutral spine is squeezing those obliques as hard as you can, brace that core as much as you can, and really trying to keep this barbell over your midfoot. So what I mean by that, so barbell on your back, just like a back squat. Set your knees, set your hips, a nice balanced position. So we're just gonna hinge over from the hip, keep that barbell over your midfoot, nice neutral spine, and from here, just squeeze your butt and come right back up. Every time you do a hinge pattern, your butt goes back, hipping from your pelvic bone, and squeezing your butt. Squeezing your glutes is the epitome of hip extensions. All you gotta do is squeeze your butt. Now, what we tend to see is, yes, we do a round back or maybe an overextended back to try to keep that balance of the barbell. To counteract that, you want to just pull that barbell on you, so you don't have to do that super overextended thing so you feel like the barbell's going to roll on your neck. So people tend to do that number. Just pull that barbell on you, attach it to your upper back, and hinge over. The other thing we see, you could have a perfectly neutral spine, hinge beautifully, but you might be doing that number. The barbell's kind of going over the front of your toes. Now notice where the barbell is here. Same exact movement versus here. Now the barbell is kind of over my foot a little bit more, yeah? So that is the example of balance. If we're here off balance, if this is any heavier than this barbell, my lower back will probably do the work to stand that weight up, rather than if it's over my midfoot, my center mass, the correct muscle groups of my hamstrings and glutes are going to do the majority of the work there. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is a little experiment. Now, this is just for an example, what I'm trying to talk about here. So I'm going to set my feet up in line with the rig. The rig is straight up and down. The barbell is up against the rig. So ideally, if I have good mobility and good strength, I should be able to do a good morning, keeping this barbell over my foot the entire time. As I hinge over, keeping it over my foot, get that tension in my hamstrings, barbell stays right where it started, and stand back up for that hip extension. One more time, pull it down on my back, hinge over, hinge over, hinge over, hinge over, find that tension in the hamstrings, squeeze my butt, and come right back up. Now the other thing we tend to talk about is creating torque. I'm trying to get into this movement a lot because people are afraid of it because of their lower back. If you start off this movement afraid of hurting your lower back, chances are you might get a little tension back there. But if you go into this with confidence, knowing that you can perform this movement correctly, the chances of success are a little bit higher. So we always talk about the obliques. When you hinge over, you inhale through your nose and feel your obliques full of air. What that does is push your diaphragm down and fills up any extra space in your core, protecting your lower back and keeping your spine nice and neutral. Also, we're going to talk about the inner thighs here, the adductors. So when you hinge over, yes, you're going to inhale, and I'm squeezing the ground internally as much as I can, trying to compress that rubber flooring as I go down. And on the way up, all I'm going to do is exhale and squeeze my butt. Keep that barbell over your midfoot, squeeze your abs, hinge over only until you get that tension, and only as far as you can inhale into that belly. Don't go any further, or else you're just kind of not doing anything good for you.